In the empty part of space, far beyond the edge of any known star map, there floated a dark hole. It wasn't natural. It wasn't just emptiness. It was the hole, a glowing, silent tear in space that looked like cracked glass wrapped in shadows. No one knew who made it. No one knew what was inside. The first time a probe was sent into it, it vanished. No signal returned, no data, just silence. Then they tried again with a drone. Same result gone in an instant, like it was erased. The third time, they sent a living being, an alien test pilot, in a shielded pod. His scream lasted half a second. Before the transmission cut. From that day, the galactic species named it one thing: the hole that swallowed worlds. Years passed. Everyone agreed. The hole was death. Even machines died when they entered. Some said it was a weapon left behind by an ancient race. Others believed it was the mouth of a black hole that didn't follow any known laws of physics. It was terrifying. Unnatural. Cursed. The Galactic Council placed warning beacons around it. Ships were banned from going near. Everyone stayed away. Everyone except the humans. A meeting room aboard a massive alien station filled with voices. Tall, thin aliens with silver skin stood next to insect-like diplomats and gas-based life forms held in glass chambers. He cannot be serious. One alien said, looking at the screen. The hologram in the center showed a Terran ship approaching the hole. Humans are unpredictable. Another hissed. Inside the Terran vessel, a single human stood near the airlock. His name was James. He was calm, focused, not a soldier, not a scientist, just ... a volunteer. Earth had asked for someone brave enough to walk into something no species had returned from. James raised his hand to his forehead, brushing away sweat. A camera hovered behind him, live streaming everything back to Earth's command center, and unknowingly being watched by at least 30 alien species in secret. As he suited up in a sleek black pressure suit, a voice came through the comms. "James," said the Earth controller, "you understand this mission is one way, right?" "I do. You still want to go in?" James smiled faintly. Someone has to be the first. He stepped toward the airlock. It hissed open slowly. Ahead, beyond the force field, was nothing but stars and the glowing hole. It was massive, not spinning, not pulling, just ... watching. Like an eye, the galaxy held its breath. Alien leaders, scientists, even criminals paused to watch. This wasn't just curiosity. If the human survived, everything would change. If he didn't, then Earth would finally understand fear. But humans were strange. They laughed at danger. They ran toward problems. They acted without full data. And now, one was going to step into something that erased everything. James reached the edge of the force field. He looked once at the camera and said, "Tell my sister, I'm not doing this for fame. I just want to know what's inside." Then he closed his eyes and stepped into the hole. Instant silence. The camera feed cut. The signal stopped. For 2 full minutes, no one spoke on Earth or in the alien systems. The portal stood still, glowing slightly, untouched, unmoved, on the Galactic Council floor. One alien finally said, "So ... the human is dead." But on Earth, the mission commander didn't move. His eyes stared at the blank screen. "No, wait." A small red light blinked. Signal strength. 1%, then static. A soft whisper. Just 2 words. "I'm inside." The command center on Earth went quiet the moment James disappeared. Everyone stared at the monitors. The video feed was gone. The sensors showed nothing. For a full minute, no one spoke. Not a breath, not a whisper. Just silence and blinking. "Error lights. He's gone," someone finally said. But just as the technician moved to shut the system down, something changed. A weak signal barely strong enough to detect flashed on the edge of the screen. "Wait," the communications officer shouted. "There's a return ping." The signal came in like a whisper, faint, broken. But real Dot, it was James's voice. "Inside?" he said. "I'm alive." Gasps filled the room. The commander leaned forward, almost afraid to believe it. "James, can you hear us?" he asked Dot. There was a pause. A hiss. Then James's voice returned, clearer this time. "Still. Here. It's strange. My body feels normal, but the space around me, it's not normal at all." In the Galactic Council's high chamber, news spread fast. Aliens of every species watched the human feed with disbelief. "He survived," one said. "In shock. No. No, this is a trick." Another alien hissed. "He's lying." But deep down, they knew the truth. No other species ever sent a signal from inside Earth had done what the galaxy believed was impossible. Inside the portal, James walked forward slowly. The world around him was shifting. It wasn't space. It wasn't a planet. It was like a dream. The ground looked like black glass. The sky shimmered with colors that didn't belong together. He could walk, but gravity felt like it changed slightly with every step. There were no stars, no up, no down, only motion and echoes. His helmet displayed wild readings, radiation, temperature, and time were all broken. But his body? Perfectly fine. "This place breaks machines," he said into his recorder. "But humans? We bend with it." Then something happened. He heard a sound dot. It wasn't speech. It wasn't mechanical. It was like a thought. Not his own. "You are the first to remain whole." James stopped. "Who's there?" he asked. Silence. Then the voice again. Softer no. "You are not like the others. You came with no fear." James looked around, but saw nothing. "Still," he replied, "I didn't come to fight. I came to understand." Back in Earth's control room, technicians struggled to keep the signal alive. The portal's energy fought every attempt to connect. Every second of James's voice was a battle, but even the broken words were valuable. The data he was sending changed everything: radiation maps, gravity flows, unknown particles. He had been inside for 11 minutes. No species had lasted more than one. The Council demanded answers. Earth refused to respond. In secret, Earth began preparing a second mission. But this one wouldn't send another human inside. This one would send a fleet to guard the portal. Meanwhile, on a hidden alien moon, a warlord named Grask watched the feed in silence. He was a lizard-like being known for conquering weaker races. His eyes narrowed. "If humans can survive that place," he growled, "then they are more dangerous than we ever thought." His second-in-command asked, "What do we do?" Grask looked at the stars. "We prepare for war, before they control what's inside that thing." Back inside the portal, James walked further. He saw shadows. Not people, not aliens, just outlines. Figures burned into the walls of reality. Some looked like ships, others like bones, all frozen in the strange space around him. He reached out and touched one dot. It melted into dust. "These must be the others," he said. "All the ones who came before me." Suddenly, the voice returned, closer now. "You do not break. You do not run." James stopped. His heart beat faster. "Who are you?" he asked again. "We were once many. Now we are memory. You are the first of your kind to hear us. What is this place? A test or a prison, or both?" The air around him pulsed. Shapes began to move. James raised his camera, and just before the signal cut again, Earth received one final image. A giant gate, floating in the air, marked with human-like writing. No one understood what it said. "Not yet," But James whispered the translation as the signal died. "Welcome, child of Earth. You passed." James stood still in the middle of the strange, shifting world. Around him, space bent like glass under heat. Gravity changed every few steps. Up and down had no meaning anymore. But James had stopped feeling dizzy. His body had adjusted. His mind had adapted. He was human. Born from Earth, the death world. Pain, fear, and madness were things he already understood. Now, he was walking through something far older than any species had seen. He reached the tall gate. Its surface looked like metal, but flowed like water. The writing on it glowed faintly. Strange symbols. And beneath them, a line that made his chest tighten. Those who survive are meant to open what lies beyond. Behind the gate was silence, but a living silence. It felt like something watched him, back on Earth. The command center struggled to decode James's last image. Run it through every language database. The lead linguist said, "It's not alien," someone muttered. "It's based on Latin roots?" Another voice shouted, "This writing evolved from Earth languages." How is that possible? The commander whispered dot. The tech team stared at the message. Somewhere in the depths of the portal, something ancient already knew about humans dot inside the portal. James placed his palm on the gate. Dot no scanner, dot no key, dot touch dot the symbols lit. Up, the gate shimmered, then opened slowly, like mist breaking apart. Behind it, a massive chamber. Floating objects, frozen in time ships from different races. Alien artifacts, glowing orbs of memory dot, and in the center, hovering above a white platform, was something truly strange. A human body. James stepped closer. The man looked older than anyone, a live white beard, skin like cracked stone, but peaceful. His suit was Terran-marked, with an Earth emblem but old, outdated by at least 100 years. "No one from Earth came here before me, James," whispered dot. Then he saw it on the man's wrist. Burned ID tag dot name. Captain D. Grant. Mission date. Year 2327. But Earth was only in 2270 now. This man was from the future. James's heart raced. Had time twisted inside the portal? Did someone from Earth already enter and vanish across time? The floating chamber responded to James's presence. Lights activated, forming a circle around him. Holograms. Peered memories, voices, all in human language. "We are the Watchers," one voice said. "We do not live as you do. We test those who enter. All failed until now." A new hologram showed alien species walking in, screaming, falling, disappearing dot. Then it showed James walking in calm, fearless. You do not fear pain. You do not break like others. You adapt, and you ask questions. Another memory showed James touching the gate. A soft voice continued, "Earth's people are built for what's next." James took a deep breath. "Me?" he asked the air. "Why humans?" The floating voice answered, "Because your kind was made in chaos. You are not perfect, but you are willing." Another orb floated close and pulsed. It contained a single line of code, Earth's code, deep DNA from humanity itself. James touched the orb, and his mind was flooded with images. Battles on dead worlds, ancient machines awakening, and stars being consumed. Then he saw one image again and again. Humans, standing alone. And winning dot, the voice returned. This portal was not a trap. It was a door, a filter, a final checkpoint. And now dot dot dot, you hold the key. On the edge of the galaxy, hidden satellites picked up the signal James had unknowingly activated. A wave of data spread in every direction: maps, energy signatures, locked gate coordinates. Earth's military intercepted the pulse. So did the Council. The galaxy began to shake, not with war, but with the fear of what was coming, because now they all understood. The portal wasn't the danger. The human who walked through it was. Back inside, James stood before the body of Captain Grant. The man's eyes suddenly opened, but he did not move. He just smiled faintly and whispered, "Took you long enough." James stepped back, shocked. Before he could speak, the body vanished into light dot in its place. A path opened. Deeper into the portal. James turned toward it and muttered, "I think I just found humanity's next step." He walked forward. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Inside a high-security chamber. Leaders of over 50 alien civilizations shouted at once. The holofeed from the Terran mission played again and again, the human James walking deeper into the portal, unharmed, while speaking to something ancient. He survived for nearly an hour. One counselor yelled. He activated something. Another screamed. One insectoid diplomat clicked its mandibles in fear. If humans now hold the key to the portals, then the rest of us are no longer in control of this galaxy. The silence that followed was heavy. One species finally broke. We must try again. Send one of our own inside. Elsewhere, a war-hardened alien race called the Kravoks volunteered. Their champion was known across the galaxy as a survival beast twice the size of a human, covered in plated armor, trained to endure black holes and poison planets. He was their best, and he was about to walk into the same portal. At the edge of the void, the Kravok ship floated in silence. The portal shimmered, calm but menacing. The Kravok's champion stepped into the airlock. No fear in his glowing yellow eyes. He activated his battlesuit, armor locking in place. Dozens of alien species watched the feed from orbit. Even humans watched silently, curious. This time, the Kravok's captain growled, "We'll show them who is stronger." He leaped into the portal. 1 second passed. Then screening. Not physical. Mental. A blood-curdling, psychic scream pulsed through the portal and into every listening ship. The Kravok's champion's body reappeared outside. The portal not walking. Torn apart, armor melted into his bones, eyes wide with terror. The camera feed cut. The silence was worse than any war. On Earth, the signal from James returned clearer. Now, he had gone deeper, and he had heard the scream. He stood on a glowing bridge over what looked like a sea of stars. Below, fragments of old ships floated, frozen in time. What was that? He asked aloud. The voice from earlier returned, quieter now. They tried. They failed. Only those born from death, from chaos, may cross unharmed. James whispered, "Deathworlders, yes, you are not invited. But you passed. You are not the first to enter. But you are the first to remain whole." James reached a new chamber. At its center was a floating cube. Its surface shimmered with energy images flickering on it, coordinates to other places, unknown gates and blinking red points across the galaxy. He touched it. The galaxy map zoomed out. Over 10,000 portals. Locked. Until now, one line appeared in front of his eyes. Access granted. Terran species recognized. He laughed softly. So this was a test all along. The voice responded. The gate was not meant to destroy. It was meant to choose. Your kind has been chosen. Back outside, the Council prepared a final message to Earth. They now understood the truth, and they were terrified. Earth had passed a test that had killed everything else. A vote was called. One word echoed across the council chamber. Contain. Ships were ordered to block the portal, but Earth had already moved. 20 black Terran warships, cloaked around the portal's edge. Their weapons weren't pointed at the portal. They were pointed at the galaxy. Inside. James stood at the edge of a rising platform. In front of him, 3 doors appeared, each leading to unknown destinations. Above them, words written in ancient human script glowed. To those who choose to lead, not follow. He smiled. We were never followers. Behind him, the bridge faded. He walked through the middle door and vanished into the light. The galaxy now knew one thing. Humans were never meant to stay in the shadows. They were the ones who walked through death itself and returned with power. And anyone who tried to follow died screaming. Asterisk. The void was silent, but across the galaxy, the silence didn't feel peaceful. It felt tense, like something was watching. Every major species had seen the footage. A human untrained, unarmored walked into the most feared structure in the galaxy and survived. He made contact. He activated lost technology. And now he had vanished again. Through one of the portal's hidden doors. And then the signal came. In Earth's command center. Alarms blared. A technician jumped from his chair. We're getting a new transmission, he shouted. The screen flickered. Static swirled. Then James appeared. His face looked different now. Not older, sharper. More focused. Eyes that had seen something far beyond normal space. He stood in front of a glowing blue field. Strange lines moved behind him like stars being born and erased all at once. He spoke. This is James Carter, Terran explorer. I am alive, and I'm not alone. Gasps echoed in every monitoring room on Earth and in secret alien channels. Across the stars, James continued, voice steady. What's inside the portal isn't death. It's ancient, it's intelligent, and it's selective. They test species. Only those who can face madness, pain, and the unknown with strength and curiosity are allowed to pass. So far, only humans qualify. He paused then, said something that made the galaxy freeze. I've found the gate core. It connects to thousands of other portals across the galaxy. We now hold the keys. Alien leaders stared in disbelief. One ambassador choked out, if they control the gate network, then they can reach every system before we can react. They could surround planets in minutes, another whispered. We must shut it down. Someone cried, but they already knew they couldn't. Earth's warships were guarding the portal. Humans weren't just exploring, they were claiming. Back. Inside the gate core, James walked a long bridge made of pulsing light. He wasn't alone anymore. Figures walked beside him. Tall, translucent, like beings made of energy. Watchers, the ones who built the network. They didn't speak with words. They shared memories. Visions poured into James's mind. He saw a galaxy full of life, connected by portals. Peaceful species, destroyed by their own fear. War-born races failing the test because they came to conquer, not learn. And finally, Earth, rising silently in a dark corner of the stars. He saw himself walking, passing every trial, and then being chosen. You said we've been chosen, James whispered. Chosen for what? The Watchers showed one final memory. A vast force, something unknown, approaching from outside the galaxy. Black ships, cold stars, the true enemy. They come, the Watchers said. We needed warriors. But more than that, we needed ones who ask why before they shoot. Your kind was not born for this mission. But you are ready? Outside the portal, Earth's warships received a coded transmission. It was short, clean, no emotion. Begin preparation. Terran. Gate command now online. A second message went to the Council. Humanity will no longer request access. We will open what we need. Panic broke out across alien governments. They've taken the network. They control the gates. They're not asking, they're taking. And then came the final blow. The human fleet didn't attack. They just sent a copy of James's. Message to every known system in the galaxy. No threats, No ultimatums. Just truth. James's final words in the message played on every screen, every planet. We don't seek war. But we're no longer standing in line. You called us primitive, weak, dangerous. Maybe we are. But we walked through the thing that killed your best. We went in with eyes closed and walked out with our heads high. He paused. Now the question is, will you follow us? Or will you stay afraid forever? The council sat in silence. No vote. No plans. Just fear. Because now they weren't waiting for humans to ask permission. Humans were already moving. Asterisk. The portal no longer stood alone in the dark. 12 black Terran warships circled it like silent guardians. No lights, no signals. Just presence. Alien probes dared not approach. The last 3 had been instantly disabled, not destroyed, just shut off, quietly and completely. The message was clear. The portal was now Earth's territory, and still, no human fired a shot. That was what frightened the galaxy the most. Inside the portal's inner space, James stood on a balcony, high above a galaxy-sized map. Symbols moved through the air, glowing in blue and gold. Each symbol was a gate, some known to aliens. Most not. The Watchers, glowing figures of light, stood beside him. They didn't speak with words anymore. They shared understanding, flashes of emotion and thought. We gave the tests to many, they told him. They failed. They tried with rage or fear or hunger for power. You tried with questions. James looked at the floating map. He could feel it now, each portal, each locked path, each world waiting beyond. So much knowledge, so much danger, so much potential. He asked, why give this to us? Why now? Because the storm is coming. A new symbol appeared beyond the edge of the galaxy. Dark red. Pulsing. Something was approaching. Something not born in this galaxy. They are the destroyers of networks. The eaters of stars. You were not the first to be chosen, but you are the last. James nodded slowly. Earth hadn't just passed the test. Earth had inherited a war. On Earth, Terran High Command received James's latest transmission. No one slept. Factories lit up. New fleets began construction under a single project name. Operation Starfire. Every ship would now be equipped with gate-ready tech. Every soldier trained in multi-environment combat. Every outpost reinforced. Earth was preparing not just to explore, but to defend. And lead. In the Galactic Council chambers. Panic turned into planning. They didn't trust each other, but now they feared something more than Earth. What's beyond those gates? A small avian species asked. We don't know, said the high scholar of the Tral Empire. But the humans, they do. Silence. The ancient ones had failed the test. The conquerors had failed the test. But the wild ones from the death world? They passed it like it was nothing. Now they were the only hope. Back inside the portal, James looked up. The light around him dimmed. The Watchers were fading. Our time ends, yours begins. You are now the gatekeeper. James's pressure suit reconfigured. His visor blinked with new symbols. The suit was now part of the system. He could feel the portal's breath. It lived. It waited for direction. A final platform rose beneath his feet, an exit path. But before he left, a message glowed before him. You are not just human anymore. James stepped through. In orbit. The Terran warships received the signal. Gatekeeper has returned. Initiate full control. Dozens of satellites blinked online around the portal. New gates, once invisible, unlocked across space. And then, without warning, one gate opened on its own. From its dark center, something looked back, but it did not cross. It watched. And Earth watched it right back. On every planet, across every species, one message was received simultaneously. Broadcast in every known language, spoken calmly in James's voice. To the civilizations of this galaxy, the portal network is now under Terran authority. You are not our enemies, unless you choose to be. We invite cooperation, but we will not wait for permission. This is your only warning. The gates are open. The future has changed. Earth walks forward, with or without you. And just like that, humanity became the force that guarded the stars. Not by war, not by words, but by walking where no one else could, and returning as something more. Portal had killed everything before, but for humans, it opened, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Asterisk.